Today we're gonna get the bed sides installed on our 76 Blazer and finish up the rear of this truck. So this is the last time we have to get these bed sides mocked up before we can finalize everything and get it welded up. We are so excited to not have these laying around in the shop anymore, so let's get started. Okay, well, we already ran into a couple of issues. So first off, we gotta shave off this part of the quarter right here because it is actually hitting right here, so it's not allowing this to go in enough. That's the first issue. Second issue is we gotta drill some holes back here so that we can actually bolt the bedside up. And the third and final issue that we're having right now is you can see how far that rocker flange sits forward than the actual flange that it's supposed to sit against. The quarter sits just like this. So we're gonna have to try and push this flange forward a little bit because that's right where our quarter is and the gap is good with the quarter like that. So we're gonna try and push this forward, shave this off, drill those holes, and then we'll mock it up and see how it fits. Got our quarter where it's going to be, so it's completely mocked up and ready to go. So what we had to do is we had to completely rework this shape right here because the problem with aftermarket, like we've always said, is it's gonna be wrong no matter what you do. So both of these shapes were off, so we decided to match the quarter to the door. You really don't want a lot of mud on the door because you'll be able to see that. So it's better to have a little bit more mud on the quarter. You still want it to be fairly thin, but at least if it's really, really thin on the door, you'll never be able to notice. Thick door edges is a big problem in the restoration world, so you want to try and eliminate that as much as possible. So down here, what we had to do is we had to flare the door edge out just a little bit like this to get it to blend in with the quarter a little bit better. So it'll just be a tight skim of mud right here that'll fill that in, and then it'll be a nice thin edge. It was actually a lot of work to completely rework this whole thing. It was really, really difficult. We had to do a couple of slits in the quarter to get it all to move where we wanted, and then we have screwed it into place. That way it's in the exact same spot that we need it, so we can pull it on and take it off and do whatever we need to do. While I've been doing this, Mike has been getting all of the bolts in. So there's bolts that actually bolt the quarter up to the bed floor of the truck. He got all of those drilled and dremeled and bolted, so now it's all tight and it feels really good. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull the bedside back off because we gotta come in, we gotta clean everything, get everything ready to final weld, and then once it's ready, we'll throw it on for the final time. I'm gonna start welding this while Mike is gonna jump to these rear tubs right here, and these things are aftermarket too, of course, and they are atrocious. He's gonna have to do a couple of modifications to get that to fit in there, but once we get that done, welded and that in, that will pretty much finish up this section of the truck, and we'll be able to jump to the other side and do the exact same thing. The bedside is welded on, so really there's not a lot left to do on this side. We're gonna wait to weld the rear until we get the other side on. That way, just in case we have to twist the rear of this a little bit to fit the tailgate, we can do that then. Mike has been working on trying to get this wheel well installed, I guess this rear tub, and it doesn't fit at all. Go figure. It fits pretty poorly all the way around, but we're gonna end up slitting this right here so that we can get this edge to bolt up. And then we'll get the rest of this bolted and then just run a filler piece all the way along this to make that work. So Mike is gonna slit that right now and get working on that. Well, I'm gonna grind the welds on the front of the bedside and get all that finished up. And then we'll both jump to the other side and get the other bedside mocked up and the other tub mocked in place. Okay, so we found a couple of issues with these aftermarket tubs. You can see they fit very, very poorly around both of these edges. So this corner fits terribly, and then this corner over here also fits terribly. Mike had to slit this whole edge right here because it was too wide. We couldn't even get it up into place. So once that was slit, it relieved a little bit of tension. It's good over here, but you can see here it dives down, so we're gonna have to do another slit to bring this whole edge up. That's kind of just how it goes with this aftermarket stuff. You gotta cut it until it works. Well, Mike's been doing that. I have been working on the quarter over here. We've gotten this mocked up, and honestly, it's fitting pretty well. You can see I have been really taking my time working this edge right here. First of all, I had to straighten the door because all of these panels curve in a little bit, which then if you mud that, it's gonna be thick on your edge. So I had to bring all of the panels straight, and then I had to bring the quarter out to match that. So you can see how the 2 points here are the only thing touching the ruler. That is what you want. That way there's gonna be no filler on that edge right there. But now the problem is as we go down more, you can see how big this gets. The door's super thin, but this is terrible, 1/4 inch. So that would all be filled with mud. So the quarter does need to come out, but now the next problem that we're running into is this flange on the inside of the quarter is actually too thin. So if I bring that out anymore, it's not even gonna be touching. We're not gonna be able to weld that. So first thing I have to do is I have to extend this flange a little bit, and then I'll be able to pull the quarter out where I want it, screw it into place, and then finally we'll be able to pull this back off for the final time, prep everything, and then get this side welded on. So while I'm doing this flange on the quarter, Mike is gonna modify the bed tub, and then all we have left is this other tub right here. Got a little bit more work left, but let's get this done. All right, guys, bedside is pretty much fixed. So throw the ruler on it and it looks really good all the way down. Both the edges touch pretty much towards the bottom. And I got that inside flange right here fixed. I had to pretty much add a 1/4 inch piece all the way along this. That way I could install my self tappers, and now my quarter is secured right where I want it. So now it's time to pull the quarter off. I gotta get all the holes drilled. I gotta get everything prepped and clean and weld through primed, and then we can install this for the final time, and I can get the whole front welded. While I've been doing this, Mike has been busy butchering this thing up over here. You can see he's done a pretty good job getting this all lined up. These things are just so off. We're just doing the best we can. But we had to do a big slit right here just to get this to relax. That way we can get this to line up. Now we're gonna start tacking all of this into place, and that will pretty much hopefully finalize this, and then we'll be able to jump to the other side. the front of the bed sides are completely finished, welded on, and really strong actually. Like, it's extremely strong. When we bolted everything up in the rear, we can't even move these anymore. You can see how our gap is fairly even along both of these sides, and that's pretty good. That means our bed sides don't need to twist at all, so that's kind of what you're looking for. It does get a little tight down here, but we're gonna have to make that gap because our tailgate is weird right there. We measured and made sure that this entire thing was square, so we're good there, and then our width is also good. While I was getting the front finish up, Mike got all of this cut and tacked into place, so we are almost ready to start final welding these and getting these done. But before it gets too late, I'm gonna have him jump on this one right here. We're gonna do the exact same thing that we did with this tub with that one, and while he's doing that, I'm gonna be welding up this entire rear, finalizing these quarters. So we're almost done with the rear of this Blazer. Let's get this knocked out. Tailgate back on. Mike has got both of these tubs pretty much tacked into place and ready to weld. Well, he's been doing that. Like I said, we got the tailgate on. I had to do a couple patches back here to fix some rot here. I got all of the quarters welded, so quarters are secure and finished. And then I jumped to the front and got the inner structure of the doors all welded up and ground and finished, so the doors are done. And then I've been working on getting these core support patches done because we had a lot of rot in here. You can see it's all expanding, so we've got to patch both of these sections here and here. And then other than that, the core support will be finished. So really our list is almost done. I got to finish up the core support patches. I got to mock up the front passenger seat as well, which will be fast. And then while I'm doing both of these, Mike is going to start welding the tubs, and then that'll finish it up in the home stretch, but still got a lot of welding to do. 5 minutes of welding. You got 5 minutes. 5. so we are pretty much done with everything that was on our list. So we got both of these core support patches done and finished, the core support mocked up again. And then coming this way, we got the passenger seat installed, and the pivot works perfectly and it latches. So pretty cool there. Jumping inside, Mike got the rear tubs all welded up and done. We just have to grind them. And then we got the quarters welded on, the whole rear finished, everything welded back here, along with welding the inner structure in our doors and finishing all of that. Our main big fabrication stuff is pretty much finished. Yeah, so this has been a long time coming. It feels super good to finally get the whole rear done. We're super lucky that the tailgate fits and we really don't have to do any modifications to that. In the next video, we had a couple of big things that we gotta do. We gotta start to attack our roof and get that fixed, and then we gotta get to our firewall and start to do all of those custom panels there. And then we'll pretty much be moving to mock up of all of our small parts, so drivetrain, vintage air, whatever other stuff that we have to mock up, we're gonna get that done. So stay tuned for the next video on this, and thanks so much for watching all the way to the end, and thanks for supporting us and liking and sharing and subscribing, and we'll see you guys next time on this 76 Chevy Blazer restoration. Peace out.